All right, everybody, welcome in. This is Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin, episode 31. I'll be the one and only Big Spoon.
It'd be the pudding. I don't know why these two things are sitting over there.
Yeah, the primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and share our thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on the topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin do not accept any responsibility or liability for our guests or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we talk about on our podcast. This podcast is for private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no adding to, editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin. You can reach us at Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin at gmail.com. And I like to say I do not own the rights to this music.
Oh gosh, please. Just come on now. You're gonna get us flagged and everything, and they're gonna take it and say, "Hey, that's us,"
I said I didn't own the rights to this music.
I know. If for some reason you blew up and got famous, they're gonna be like, "Hey, we're gonna take all that." Oh boy.
What are they gonna take all that for?
I don't know. I'm just messing with you. We ain't getting rich. We ain't doing this to make money.
No.
I think for sure.
I've done lost too much money.
Oh yeah. How you figured that? You're running for mayor.
Yeah, I'm saying I've already lost too much money.
Well, apparently other people have a lot more money to lose if you pay attention to all the signs out there. Your signs are dwarfed like 3-1 by the big money candidates.
Well, it's awful funny every time I put one and it's all by itself, and I go back the next day and there's
Dillard and the cows on the other side.
Yeah.
It's like, we got more money than you. We'll show you.
I don't care. Whatever.
No, it's kind of funny. I was there thinking, I said, man, they got like 3-4 signs to one of yours. They sure don't have a problem making money or extorting money or, maybe I just hope we get to that later in the show. I hope maybe the small citizens understand that there's big money. Like that big God ugly Thompson sign in front of Sumner Employment Exchange, What is that kind of? My mama gonna put a sign up in front of her business for me. Is that what that was?
Well, I mean, I can't really.
You can't confirm nor deny that.
Well, I mean, I would hope if my mama was alive, she would do the same for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you would hope that your mama would give you like an 8x16 sign in front of her business.
Hell, I wish she blocked the whole business with a sign big enough.
Oh, okay. Like you just drape it in like a big clown tent, because that's what the people are really. Money printing clowns. That was I was joking about the other day about that. I'm like, everyone worries about the bank robber that goes in with a gun and steals $20,000. The real robbers are the people that run the bank and just print the money.
Well, I read a quote this morning that said, it says, we hang the petty thieves, but we elect the real criminals to office.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, look, George Floyd tried to print $20 and pass it off for a pack of cigarettes and got in trouble for that. But these banks print $20 billion. Oh, they're champions. They're bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a bank, Floyd. You missed your place, buddy. But I mean, I defended Chauvin on that. I got to send that now. I got to send that to your neighbor there. I forgot to send him that video. The guy in Ohio that got, that guy in Ohio it was New Year's Eve and he got shot by the cop in his fence.
Oh, up in Ohio. Yeah. That cop unloaded this clip through that fence.
Yeah, it was bad. And I was like, but that was what I was saying. I mean, like we were talking about it and he, your neighbor said, oh, the cop announced itself. And I'm like, he's in the middle of shooting in the backyard. And if he has any kind of sense, he put on headsets. Was he drunk and stupid? Sure. I'm not going to excuse that. Was Floyd stupid trying to pass off a fake 20 and swallowing fentanyl? Sure, yeah. But the outcomes of one to me was a lot worse than the other. Again, I still don't think Chauvin should have got anything more than manslaughter. Even that, I thought he should have walked. But that's me. That was my personal opinion. Just because I knew he overdosed on fentanyl.
Well, like me and you talked, they should have never pulled him out of the car.
No, they should have kept because they had him in the car. Door was closed. Should have just drove him on down to the station. Yeah.
I'm tired.
So what was you? Oh, you're tired?
I was up late celebrating that Vols victory.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, first one in 5 years.
That's 5 years. Oh, so you owe me 3 then. We've been betting on this for a while.
No, since 19, wasn't it?
Was it 19 when we started?
Or 18. So you got 18.
19, 20, 21. So I got 4. So we take away 1.
I don't know.
I lost count. I just keep them as in case of emergency. You're like the boyfriend or that cry on your shoulder and break jar in case of emergency.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what you are. If I get in an emergency and I really want a nice, real high classy meal, like Roost Chris, I can say, hey, you owe me one of those meals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I got 3. You got 3 more years, whatever it is, for the Vols. They're gonna have to get on a win streak to take me down.
Yeah.
What was going on at the end? I wasn't even watching it.
Oh my God! I thought they was gonna let y'all just
come back somehow.
Yeah, they just played that. We've got this one prevent defense, and then before you know it, they scored and got the onside kick. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, there at the end when we had the ball last, we could have, we was up 11, and instead of kicking the field goal and going up 14, they decided to go for it on 4th down to run more clock, and they didn't run much clock, and didn't get the 3 points and give y'all the ball, and then go lay back on defense. Let y'all dink until Florida scored. But I don't understand what your head coach was thinking. The first time y'all cut in the lead, he instead of kicking the extra point, he went for 2. And it's like, why? So the next time y'all scored,
you're talking there at the end. I could understand it. Just so they could get into field goal range, tied up, going to overtime.
Yeah,
they went for 2 before that.
Yeah, the first time they went for 2. If he hadn't went for 2 and he kicked the extra point, that last time y'all scored, you'd only been down a field goal, and you could have kicked the field goal and went in overtime.
Did they get the onside kick? And I couldn't. I was watching on. Oh, they got the onside kick.
Yes.
Oh my God.
They
suck.
That's what I'm saying.
The onside kick's coming because I was sitting there watching it, and I was watching the score meter going back and forth.
Well, they had to kick 2 They had to kick 2 onside kicks, right? They scored with like 4 minutes to go and kicked the onside kick, but we got that one. And then they scored and had to kick the onside kick again, and they got that one, and they were only down 5.
Well, at that point, I didn't know they.
Yeah, they missed 2 2-point conversions. If they kicked both extra points, they'd have been down 3.
And they could have possibly tied it.
Yep.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what y'all's coach was doing. I don't know what our coach was doing at the end, because when we were up 11.
Honestly, that's the only game that I watch, really, or try to pay attention to. Just because I got some little bit of money with you on the line, or wait a minute, it's not money. We're not gambling. It's just a meal.
It's
feeding
a meal.
The needy. Yeah, we're feeding the needy.
Feeding the fat boys.
Yeah, well, the fat boy ain't getting fed yet. He picked the wrong team.
I know. Well, do you see Eric's team?
No, I swear to God, I didn't pay no.
MTSU slobbered Miami.
Who's MTSU?
Middle Tennessee State University.
Oh, okay.
Out of Murfreesboro.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. The only thing I watched is I was checking the score, she was walking around Kohl's trying to get some shoes for work, and I was like pulling up the score at the end there. I was like, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, there's a few. Oklahoma, number 6. They were ranked number 6. They got upset at home by Kansas State. Texas Tech beat Texas.
Yeah, I only look at that game when it comes around, just see
Yeah.
if I go up a meal or down a meal.
Yeah, you're not a sports guy. You're just there for
Just there for the free food.
the free food if it happens.
If it happens, or I lose some food, and I'll be like, "Damn, I should have cashed that in."
Oh,
But then your ass would be like, "Oh hell with Roost Chris, let's go to New York City, and you can buy me one of them $400 steaks or something."
yeah, I'm a cheap date.
Oh, you're a cheap date. Oh, you're McDonald's.
No, I was thinking more like Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse. Oh, I mean,
It ain't bad.
see, I had to argue yesterday for my sonnies, because she wanted to go to. She was like, when I told her it was right there behind Sam's Texas Roadhouse, and when we turned to go to Sam's, she's like, "Oh, there's Texas Roadhouse. I want that. Forget Sonny's." And I'm like, "No, we're going to Sonny's." If I'm gonna go to Texas Roadhouse, I'd prefer to just go to one in Hendersonville.
Yeah, it depends on what time you go too. You probably wouldn't even get in that one up there.
Well, we last night I did the online ordering. I like that. I'm gonna start doing that more. Like if we're not wanting to sit down and eat up there,
I'll just pick it up and take it home.
Yeah, but that family feast is a good deal. It's really a good deal. It's like $50, and you legitimately can feed 4 people out of that.
You still eating it this morning?
Oh, we got most of it. Me and her, we didn't even eat half of it. I don't think. Other half's in the fridge, and it's like shit. It's 2 meals for. Oh boy.
What do you think about the Federal Reserve coming out this week about their interest rate hike?
Your neighbor found something, or a friend of his found something that was real interesting, and I wanted him to. We've been trying to get him to come on, but I'll talk about it just a little bit. There was a news article that he sent me about the U.S. government has offered to give $20 billion to Jordan. Or $10 billion. No, it's $10 billion. $10 billion. Let me get it correct. $10 billion to Jordan, which is huge. And basically what him and his buddy think is going on is they're possibly going to back the Jordish king in a claim to be Saudi heir. If the Saudis step out of line, they're going to try to, have a coup there and send Jordan in to Saudi Arabia because the petrodollar is in trouble. Everyone, if you haven't been paying attention, the U.S. dollar is a Federal Reserve world reserve currency based on the fact that it's backed by the petrodollar and OPEC and all that, and the Saudis, and they're starting to step out of line. And there was a video came out yesterday. I never sent it to you. Did I send it to you? The heresy video?
I don't
think I did. I didn't think I sent it to you, but in trading Thursday, I think it was Thursday or at 4 p.m., something happened with the Japanese yen. And they're not talking about it. They're not going to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. But they've been sending Yellen from the Treasury to Japan because their dollars fell. The yen is crashing. And what people don't understand is Japan has a lot of treasuries. And you've got to look at currencies as turds in a punch bowl. I mean, these central governments, they all just print, and they try to, but hey, if you can just print the money and, buy up most of the real estate in Portland, why wouldn't you? Hint, hint, you know who I'm talking about. If you could just get into government in Portland and use the arm of government to try to bring businesses in and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money to sell your overpriced land, hint, hint, we know who we're talking about, my mama advertising for me, but what you got to understand is these as the yen's collapsing, the dollar's going up. So while the dollar's heading up, everyone wants dollars. Japan's sitting on a lot of treasuries, and that's money. That's all it is. It's a IOU. It's a treasury. It's a promissory. They buy the treasury, and then the Fed says, "Well, we promise we'll print you dollars. Just cash it in." So if Japan needs dollars and it's the nicest, prettiest turd in the punch bowl, and they start heading towards the door and they start dumping the treasuries for the dollars because their money's in trouble, it's going to start a flood effect because people are emotional creatures and even the world's emotional.
Well,
But Japan was the biggest buyer.
yeah, but their money's not the only one in trouble. Ours has been in trouble because they just keep printing. It devalues. And me, you talked about this a few years ago. We feel like it'd be better off if it would just crash and start over.
It needs to. We don't have sound money, and it's not that unsound money is bad, but this money we work for is just completely. It's an unknown. It can be good today, and a year from now, it could be used for starting fires in pits. People don't get that. That happened already. It's history. It's just history repeating itself. Go back and look 100 years ago. This happened in Germany, called the Weimar Republic. I mean, what I'm saying is Japan's heading towards the door. Saudi Arabia has been getting close to Russia. And now the U.S. government is sending $10 billion to Jordan. But 9/11 was done by the Muslims, right? It was done by everybody in the Middle East, right? That was all them. They did that. Now I send all this money to Jordan, another Middle Eastern country. Yeah, that's smart. You're really good. And it's just remember your leader sitting there talking to you saying, "You're the reason for inflation because it cares. You're the reason for inflation because we gave you money to help you with your bills, and you idiots went out and spent it and picked up the velocity of money." If Japan's treasuries turn into dollars, and then those dollars buy goods for Japan that they need, like say assets, which is what most people aren't looking at, is gold and silver reserves. That's what these countries will buy with it. And so now that's velocity. That's money. That's money going out. You know, the government's been printing money since 2008, and they've been doing worse. They meddled in the .com, but not as bad as they did in 2008. But that was another thing your neighbor brought up was he was talking about. He said a lot of people didn't see the Trump trap, and we were talking about it. He didn't. But what he was saying was Trump's tax cut, which was supposed to benefit everybody, was kind of written in a way that if inflation kicks in and all of a sudden people like me and you find out, wow, we're making $300,000 a year because of hyperinflation, we're going to be taxed heavily and hard. They're going to beat us like but that was the point, that it was set up to, catch money in a hyperinflation economy, and it was set up long before this hyperinflation came. And I tell people all the time, like, Trump printed so much money. He was awful. And now y'all people are seeing the inflation, and everybody wants to blame Biden because you say it's on Biden's watch. No, it wasn't. No, it ain't. It's Trump's.
Well, you can't talk common sense into people. Even when you show them the facts, it's like he printed twice as amount of money in 4 years than Obama's candidacy or Obama's team did in 8 years.
Well, the thing about it is quantitative easing, which was going on through Obama. It started in Bush, and then went through Obama. That money didn't come out. It went into reserves. It was really very fascist in nature. It went into the big businesses like, General Motors, Chrysler.
Yeah.
These companies that were struggling. I'm pretty sure if Coca-Cola was having, a little red ink on the books, they could just wink, call them up and say, all right, here we go. Shut up. You got your money. Because we're not, no politician wants, they wouldn't want Coke or Pepsi or any of these big companies. They're not going to let them fall. Too big to fail. You've heard that term. Everyone's heard that term. Ball State Bank makes some screw ups and buys too much land. Hint, hint, wink, wink to your competition there. Federal Reserve put money on their books for them, and they won't send an officer out to put his knee on his back and make it look like he killed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, they don't care. That's the corruption, and it's right there. There's a man behind the curtain.
Well, it's the same deal about this COVID crap, you know.
Oh God, that was such a lie. They're even starting to come out. Fauci's even starting to say it. It's kind of funny.
And there's still people that defend the government and everything that these certain doctors say and this and that. I'm like, you understand that this whole thing was a setup, right? Oh no, 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 no. I'm like, well, you know, like we got a guy we know who he's had every shot and every booster, and he's had COVID like 3 or 4 times, right?
Who? Twinkle?
Yeah.
Twinkle Toes has had it?
Yes, 3 or 4 times.
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
Remember how he bragged about I ain't had the flu in a decade? Remember that one?
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, that's not very good, actually. You know, you should probably get diseases or your immune system's kind of compromised. Just to, you know, but we can't talk real science. You know, we
Nah.
can't talk herd immunity. Herd immunity is everyone getting it and getting over it.
And they killed the small business owner, but you know Walmart and Lowe's and all those big corporations, boy, they
Oh yeah,
thrive. You know?
the big petri dishes, they're allowed to stay open while,
Yeah.
you know, the little mom and pop stores. Oh, y'all got to close, man. You especially got to close at night because apparently it's worse then.
Oh yeah. It's like the mosquitoes that come out worse when it's dark.
Is that what it is? That
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. I didn't know that was a part of the, you know, was a cousin to the skeeter. There's a cover on my Peter, whack it off.
when the lights go off, it starts stirring up. You got to close them doors.
Oh man, yeah.
Can't have nobody in there.
That poor feller. He should just stop testing for it. Then he wouldn't have it no more.
Yeah. And here's the thing, he home tested for it on Sunday. This last time, he went to the doctor on Monday. They tested and confirmed he had it. On Thursday, he was on an airplane to San Diego and spent a week out there. And I'm like,
He got in the tuna can.
if you would have been on the airplane with anybody else that done that to you,
oh, you'd have lost your shit.
but Jens, he had already spent all that money.
He wasn't going to let it go.
And had a vacation plan. He was going. So, I just laughed and laughed.
Oh boy, pots and kettles is what I'm thinking here.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Ah man, oh man. Could you? I mean, that's bad. That is bad. But no, I don't know, man. I don't know what you've been thinking about. What other news have you seen going around?
I ain't really paid attention to much. I mean, I know I read a couple stories on the Federal Reserve and then how they were going to hike up the highest interest rate in history if they go through with it.
I mean, I don't know maybe people could tell us in comments, but some of these videos that, you know, like I catch, like the Fed, where that guy, you know, was talking about, you know, Japan might be walking to the door and they may be cashing out. And if they start cashing out, then you know, who's our next ally that could start cashing out? You know what I mean? And if everyone starts cashing out and taking the dollars and then turning the dollars into something valuable, which is, you know, right now, like I said, it's a shiny, polished turd in a punch bowl floating around because we've done all this. You know, the Fed, all the Fed's worried about is their power. That's all they want. All they want is their power. They don't want people looking at the dollar like it's an overinflated piece of garbage. That's why they're cranking the interest rates.
That's what it is.
That's what they're worried about. They don't want. Well, we can't let everyone look at it and say, well, you printed it too much, and then you gave it to the people, and then, you know, it's velocity is what's going to happen, and that's when the dollars rush home. And when the dollars flood home, you think this inflation's bad? Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. You know, it's going to get to the point where, you know, you're going to be walking around saying, hey, you know, is there a farmer that's going to let me work for a meal? And that crap can happen. You know, that's why my grandparents were the way they were because they lived. They remember the Depression.
But the bad thing is that these idiots that they keep electing in D.C. That don't affect them. You know, we pay. You know, we pay for the gas, we pay for the meals, we pay for the transportation, we pay for everything. So it's not going to affect them.
It's really, it's to me, when you see Powell sitting there giving all his lip service to keeping their power, y'all people understand that his salary is like $10 million a year, and the president's salary is 400,000. I say, Powell, how about 96% pay cut? You first, jackass. You know what I mean?
He makes 10 million a year.
Yeah, I think that's what I've heard some of these financial people say. Powell makes $10 million a year salary to be the Federal Reserve chairman. The president makes 400,000 a year, salary. But I mean, we can't talk about all the little friend money that comes under the table and flies under the table. I mean, you think Biden could keep Hunter high with 400,000 a year, and that's his only income? No.
No, well, he's been in politics for what 40 years and all the.
Well, no. I mean, I'm saying, I mean, Hunter's crack habit would bankrupt Biden in a year if all he had was $400,000 in income.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what I'm saying is
it may not take a year.
6 months. Oh shit, we're filing bankruptcy.
That's a lot of cracking hookers, Hunter. You got to cut back.
Yeah. He's like, oh man, I'm gonna be trolling the truck stops looking for rock lizards. No more high class hoes for me. but what I'm saying is you first. When they sit there and they tell people and they say things like pain coming, pain coming, pain coming. How about you first? That's what we need to say. We don't need to sit there and listen to them like their voice is God. You first, jackass. You ain't tightening shit. Your salary's coming in yelling. I wonder how much yelling makes. I don't know. She's over there trying to do her granny dance, I'm almost the old queen of England dancing up to the Japanese minister, like, please don't sell our treasuries.
Did you even see the pictures or even watch a minute or two of the Queen's ceremony and stuff?
Try not to.
Oh yeah, I tried not to too. My wife turned it on. She said something about it, and I said, I don't give a shit. Why are we even celebrating that?
It's time for them to go.
Monarchy, you know what? Yeah.
Well, we got to, there's monarchies, and the Vol state descendants or monarchies of this town. The kings and queens of Portland.
What's up, Kevin?
But so what are you going? What you? Oh, by the way, you're some constructive criticism live on air.
Okay.
The Hobbit was telling me that you're not making the rounds enough to help your little campaign. You're not going around speaking to enough people. Yes, I'm talking about you.
Well, look, I get it from all angles, right?
Oh, I'm sure you do.
You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. Well, look, I'm not out here on Facebook every day posting 3 or 4 videos, thumping my chest,
Oh, I get it.
Stealing people's comments and slogans like the other two. I'm that's not me, right? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow morning, what's tomorrow's 26, right? Yeah.
Still got time to submit my question to the chamber, don't I?
No.
No? Well, I'll just submit it to you.
So tomorrow morning, September 26th at 8 a.m., I'll be on Portland's radio station, WQKR. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow evening at 5, we have the candidate forum at the City Hall hosted by the chamber. So there's 2 things in one day I'll be getting out there.
Yeah.
And then I plan on October 8th having my own separate meet and greet.
October 8th, so you announced it. You ain't announced the place yet, though.
No. October 8th, we can pretty much say it's going to be.
And that's a Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
So you got you a Saturday set up, and you ain't announced the place yet. I think like I said, hot dogs and burgers is what I say. I really wish you'd do it like at Russell Park or something.
Where?
over at the park. Or was it that's Richmond Park?
Richland.
Richland. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't go. I've only been there like twice. What are you talking about? Shit. I know it's off Russell Street up there. Shit. I don't know. I try not to veer off of 109 and go back into town because the roads are so well maintained, and
I don't know. We'll have a little bit. We ain't gonna have a whole lot.
I say that with tongue in cheek.
We got one of those popcorn machines. You know what I'm talking about?
Popcorn. Oh well, I mean,
one of those like stand up popcorn machines.
I say hot dogs. I mean, hot dogs
Right.
and chips.
We even got a hot dog griller. So we'll have some stuff. It depends on how much money I want to spend on it, I guess, and how much time I'll have to get it set up that day.
Well, people could always bring in tater salads and stuff, and elect tater salad spoon white. See what a big spoon picks up tater salad.
They call me Tater Salad.
Yes, they do.
My son, he's Tater Todd.
Oh, boy.
My boy, he leaves in the morning for boot camp. So
yeah, I'm aware. You should have come out here and socialized yesterday, though. You and him.
we all went to lunch, spent time together, and then come back and watch the ball game together. So.
And you was biting your fingernails the whole time.
Now, even towards the end, I told both my boys, I was like, you know what's going to happen, don't you? I said, Florida's going to throw a Hail Mary here and beat us. Get used to it. I've seen it. I've seen it too much. They kept telling me, shut up, Dad, shut up.
Oh, come on. The one that's leaving used to like him because of Tebow.
Yeah, he still likes Tebow.
He still likes, I don't like it. It's what it is. I thought Tebow was a tad overrated myself.
Well, he likes Tebow the man, right?
I know he likes Tebow the man. I get that. But I just thought Tebow, the player, was just tad overrated. But so what's your campaign? What are you allowed to tell the questions that you're allowed to get
I don't
in the
know.
chamber?
I don't know the questions.
No, I'm saying the parameters of what you were told that you can only speak on this, and this, and this.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a forum. You'll have a moderator and you'll have probably 60 or 90 seconds to answer a question. And
is the write-in candidate going to be there?
No, I think he announced that he wasn't going to be there because he says he wasn't a qualified candidate.
Qualified? Well, why? Because he didn't want to give up his seating to try to, have his cake and eat it too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I wonder when's the court date on that coming up for him?
I have no idea. Have no idea.
One of the guys that come out here yesterday was, I told him about the whole kerfuffle with the neighbor and the conflict, and he was like, "What, really?" I said, "Yeah." Oh boy. I said, "Now the guy's trying to be a write-in candidate," and it's okay, whatever. I mean, I just think he should have just threw his support behind you and said, "Hey, Sport Spoon, we're going to try to fix this and try to get the 3 sitting aldermen out and change it."
I think he had it. Personally, I think he had it planned all along what he was doing.
I don't know. Apparently he's got money. He's got more money than you do for signs. That's for sure.
That's fine. I got more signs ordered.
I know.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when, you see, it says paid for by candidate. When you're doing everything yourself and not going to the people and asking them for their money, of course they got more money. They got people handing them money. They're asking people for money. I'm not asking people for anything.
Oh, I know. That's what I was telling everybody last week that, you paid $10 a sign and I donated $9.99. So you got a penny in. Try to get you, as negative as or as close to zero as possible.
Well, the people's paid enough. Why do we want to keep going back to them pay? It makes me so much when you see a candidate, like for president or governor or whatever, they raised, $3.7 million on their campaign, and some of them's a lot more than that. And that's like, why?
Because I guess some people have too much money. They get it printed out of the banks and they can just burn it.
Well, I understand, but if you're running for governor, I mean, wouldn't 10,000 done enough to get your name out there, or even 100,000 at the max? It's like,
there's some crazy BS going on. I mean, there's a lot of problems. And I'm watching this like the Pennsylvania and the senators. Have you seen them too?
No.
It's Dr. Oz versus this Democrat guy from some little town near Pittsburgh or something.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it, but I've heard the Dr.
Yeah,
Oz. And,
I'm like, oh my gosh, Dr. Oz. Yeah, he sounds like a champion of genuine conservative values and fixing the country and doing the right thing. You know, not that this count as credibility or anything, but yeah, probably a rhino. I mean, he did work in Hollywood, right? Pretty sure Hollywood gets those people out quick. Uh, we can't have too many conservative people talking. Don't want people. You got to listen to modern monetary theory, MMT. But but no, yeah, like I said, the Jordan thing that was kind of interesting. What your neighbor talked about, and he did say something else that about how we're spoiled. I told you that, right?
oh, in this town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I see y'all complaining about the little bits of corruption that you get here and being from a big town, we're spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we can fathom some of the things that go on in the big inner cities like Chicago and New York. And
No, he was saying everything is a scam. You don't get promoted unless you're connected. They're stealing everything. They don't care. The budgets are just completely just. Whew, it's like like the picture, like that GIF of Powell just running the printing press, throwing money. He had a good point. I said I like that point. It makes a point, and he still goes back to my point. I didn't want to get into local politics. I understand now. You're running for mayor, so we got to talk about it. But
hey, I
you
did.
know,
There was I say a rumor because I haven't really looked to confirm it because I don't really care about the uh, personal aspect of it. But supposedly there's another officer up here who's been caught with his mistress and he's got her pregnant. And I think his wife went on. The rumor was his wife went on like some of these sites, hit Portland and stuff, and was blasting him or something. I don't know. I was like,
I tried to stay off Facebook. I mean, somebody asked me the other day, "Did you see what I shared on Facebook?" And I said, "No." I tried to stay off that son bitch. I don't really want to be on it as little as possible. Usually, like I said, Hobbit's in there. She'll see something, share it with me, or send it to me, and
well, a lot of people make a big deal about, well, this one's sleeping with this one, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's not good, it's not right, and that's what makes me mad about this town. That's between them and God, and them and their spouse. But that you got half of them sitting over here going, this is the middle of the Bible Belt, and the mayor, he's a preacher and he loves God, and he's over here every
and
chance
that.
he
But
gets.
my thing is that qualifies them for what?
And then at the forefront, they got the officer and the lady at the chamber who were sleeping on their spouses at the forefront of every event and pictures. And it's like, so we're just hypocrites, right? You want to preach Jesus Bible, and here's the two adulterers who were found doing that. Let's put them on the front page of everything we do and every event we have. It's like, whatever. Just do what you're gonna do.
I don't.
Yeah,
Like I said, I ain't watching it. I don't care.
but just like you said, what does that qualify you for, right?
No, it don't qualify you for shit. You ain't
I,
done nothing.
I love Jesus too. He's my Lord and Savior too.
I'm
Right?
a I'm an
He,
agnostic clown.
he's an agnostic clown, right? So,
Yeah,
but
I'm not running for mayor. I can't. I wouldn't. I
but
wouldn't.
but here's the thing: Jesus didn't tell me to run for mayor.
No, I told you
Yeah.
to run for mayor because you care. You care just a tad bit too much. I know you. You give your shirt off your back if you can help people. You gotta go. We gotta go. Go vote for somebody. Y'all do what you want to do, people. Portland,
I just want people to get out and vote. Do I want to win? Of course, I want to win. I want to do good things for my town, but I want the population to get out and vote, not 14% like in the county. Should be 75+% get out and vote, but that's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, when we talk about voting, like I said, blockchain, blockchain. Anyone anyone who has the mental capability of the idea blockchain, you know, to use your phone. I mean, honestly, I don't see why we aren't at this point. Why do we got to close down schools? Why do we got to, you know,
Oh, but
mingle? Why do we got to mingle in churches? You know what I mean?
education is number one. We care about our children. Oh, let's shut it down for election.
Separation of church and state, but what churches are used for polling places?
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
See, yeah, got onto a topic of that this week about the separation of church and state, and people don't understand that. There's a lot of people out there that think that that's in the Constitution. It isn't. It was a letter written by Thomas Jefferson to, I think it was the Danbury Baptist or whatever, that was trying to institute a state religion.
Right.
And it was Jefferson telling them that the Constitution and the First Amendment set up a wall of separation between church and state. And people don't get the letter. It was eloquently and beautifully written. And you got to understand the founders, when they set all this up, the founders knew they were scared of big government. Okay, they were petrified of big government, and they seen how the Church of England and big government worked together in a fascist manner. That the Church of England wouldn't preach anything unless it was sanctioned by the government of England and the king. So literally, you know, they were weary of both. So that was why they set up things the way they did. Jefferson had eloquently made a comment or a quote in a letter. It says, "I don't care if my neighbor tells me there's 20 religions or no religion, as long as he doesn't pick my pocket or infringe on my liberty." That was something I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And I try to be that way, but then you sit there and you think, man, there's people in this town that are going to go vote for Callis. And one of the things they're going to hear to themselves is, well, God told him to do it, and he's a pastor, so I got to believe him. Okay. I'm just, you know.
well, it's the same. It's the same. You're going to have people that, oh, I'm going to go vote for whoever, insert whichever one, because we went to school together. We've been neighbors for 20 years. Or do your own research. Think for yourself. Process everything yourself, and go vote for who you think the best candidate is. That's how you do it, right? That's why it makes me so mad when you go to primaries and they say you want a Democrat or a Republican ballot. You can't vote on both. And I tell them neither. Give me a Libertarian Independent ballot. Oh, we don't have those. But if you want to vote for a Republican commissioner, but a Democrat judge, you can't. You have to pick one or the other. And it's mind-boggling that people let it get to that point, but they just don't care.
Things have gotten to the point now where I don't even. I mean, it is bewildering in a way because like in our we talked for a couple of hours the other day. Me and he said, "I think we lost. I think we've lost. I think that it's over."
Well, I mean, I completely understand why people don't get out and vote, because, I mean, it's got to the point now, people they feel defeated. Like, what's the point? They're going to do what they want to do, and they're kind of right. And until the people stand up and realize they have the power and do something about it, yeah, it's going to continue and continue.
I hear Bubba Sparks, that old white rapper from Georgia, a lot of years back. You remember him? They don't care about it. Fuck the law. They can't arrest us all. It was. I was like, yeah, he's right about that. If everyone tomorrow woke up and said, I'm not paying my taxes no more, what are they gonna do? If everyone woke up tomorrow and said, well, whatever Biden says, we don't care I don't care. What are you gonna do?
Let's look at our prison systems.
Oh, they're horrible.
There's more people incarcerated in our country, I think, than the whole world combined. Is it not?
Oh, no, because it's a money game. But they don't want the real criminals in jail. They want the people, want the docile ones that just want to get high or have mental problems from childhood or you know, social economic problems
Well, it's the whole money.
that they don't have a strong enough mind to realize that, you know, they're the ones who can change it.
It's the whole money wheel.
Yeah, well, it is, and every time the Fed intervenes, they just make things worse.
So the more the state holds in prison, the more money they make from the feds. Vice versa, and you know every time they show something, that they'll be out in front of the drug house, and what do? They pop the nickel
They
and
don't pop
dime
the
guy.
seller. No, they don't
Well,
pop the seller. They pop the guy that bought a little bit because
you can't
you
kill
know
your revenue stream.
because he went and got high because he you know he learned as a kid somewhere in school that, you know, when something bad's going on in your life, go get high and you'll forget about it for 24 hours, you know, or however long the bag lasts you. And then all of a sudden he starts working and he's trying to be strong, and then he thinks, oh, my wife's cheating on me. And next thing you know, he pulls out and he gets busted by the cop.
Yep.
Cop ain't busting the guy that's manufacturing the artisan meth in the bathtub in the back of the single wide. You know what I mean? But we'll bust this poor feller, you know,
We got
and
to
we'll
keep it.
try to
You got
flip
to
him into an informant.
you got to keep that revenue stream going now.
Oh yeah, well, you know, I mean,
Same thing at a bar. They can sit outside of a bar and pull cars over left and right going out, but you ain't gonna say
you ain't
nothing to the
shut the
bar.
bar down.
You ain't say nothing to the bar when they keep feeding them alcohol when they're way past drunk.
Well, this little town sure closes down its bars. They don't want none of those around. You know,
You
I
got
mean,
what?
it's already bad enough that let the mistresses go.
You got one out there on 31, I think.
Oh, Brewster's.
No, besides that, the hitching post. I think it's still out
Oh,
there.
up the road a little piece.
Yeah,
Okay, that's Fort Taylor on the left, right? That's a bar. I never been.
right across. I think it's right across from Taylor.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been in there. You never stopped. Oh, well, they had the one up there. They used to. Who was the mayor when that guy got closed down on the corner up there in Mitchellville?
I
Who
think it
was the
was.
mayor?
I think it was Wilbur.
And I remember he put big old signs up on plywood and said, you know, mayor did this or closed him down. I remember, wasn't it Ronnie wanted to turn his little house up there into a bar too,
Yeah, I don't remember.
across from the barbecue place or the pit?
I think he got hosed on that deal from the person
Some
who owned it.
co-owner or something.
Yeah,
How did he get in a co-owner position with him? That's what I
I
don't know.
do. I don't know.
That's something down the something you don't hear about, but there's rumors and breaths and stuff that go around. It would be a nice little. I guess it could be a nice little party place, but I don't know. What the? What are you looking at? Come on, Spoon. Well, oh, she somebody walking by topless.
No,
You know, let me see if somebody's in there. I can't tell.
old lady was walking by dancing, holding a kitty cat.
Oh,
The little
oh,
kitty.
she come by shaking her, shaking her. Meow. Oh boy, I don't really have much to talk this week except for something with the yens going on. Uh, they're raising rates. They're about to screw us. I think a lot of people are headed
Again,
towards the door.
again.
But screw us again? No,
Yeah.
they've never screwed us. What are you talking
Well,
about?
they could at least meddle some Vaseline before they do it.
I'm just curious what that. I'll let you. What are you going to talk about on the Portland front? Anything? Or you got anything new?
Nah, I was just gonna tell everybody, uh,
Eight.
vote for Charles Cole. Tomorrow
You
morning,
hope.
tomorrow
Please,
morning.
please. I'm going to try. You're like, and you're going to get in there, and if it's too corrupt and you can't fix it, you'll come on here and tell everyone it's too corrupt. I can't fix shit.
Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. WQKR. I'll be on the radio show, and then tomorrow at 5 at City Hall, the candidate forum meet and greet.
Oh my, that's.
Go like and follow my Charles Cole for Mayor Facebook page. Spread the word.
$10 million divided by. Well, I forget to do that. Sorry, the phone's too bright. So, $10 million divided by 52 weeks, 192,307 a week. Could you imagine? That's almost that's more than double what you and I make in a week.
Shit, that's triple. About triple.
Almost triple what you make.
Yeah.
I make about 80, I think. So, or a little over. But you're making what, about 70? So,
I
mean, that's almost 65, 70. Driving a truck. We drive a truck, man. We bring stuff to y'all's towns. We export your goods. We keep you warehouse workers have a job because we show up. And this guy right here, this jackass up there, gets to just run a printing press and make what? Y'all people need to really wake up. It's bad.
Well, I ain't got a whole lot.
All right, well, it would be a short week. I mean, I texted Red, and I think you texted and asked, but we can't, maybe. But next week, I guess we'll see what happens and transpires in the news. You'll have a lot to talk about next week.
Yeah.
More Portland.
Well, I've been concentrating on spending time with my son and work this week, so I didn't even try to come up with anything to talk about.
I got to remember to send your favorite city recorder more requests. I got to ask for more. I got to figure something to ask for something. I'm still here. Probably thinking I'm gone. I'm still here. Let's see if you screw up and send me something. But she's pretty good. She tries to sweep all the stuff that they won't nobody see under the rug.
The last few I've asked for, it's evident to me that I'm not going to get anything, so I've kind of just backed off for now. I got enough to worry about with it.
Comptroller ain't doing shit either.
Nah, I ain't going to.
I ain't got no email back from them yet. Oh well, screw it.
All right.
Stop being so mad. We're spoiled, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Everybody, we'll see y'all next week.
All right, everyone. Y'all have a good week.